believes that it's basically the Crips versus the Bloods, then this is a show for you.
You only just started halfway through that.
It's all right. That's all right. That's fine. Because now they're going to wonder what's going on.
What?
Star Trek versus Star Wars?
What?
Welcome into the Upstate Pulse. My name is Lonzo. It is a beautiful Saturday night. It's a Saturday night because it's nighttime outside now, but it was a beautiful Saturday day. Some unusually warm days leading into the Saturday. It's going to get warm again tomorrow, so that's cool. You can get out and about, and we know that you are out and about, and we're glad that you're listening to us right here on the Upstate Pulse. If this is the first time you've listened to the show, I don't know where you've been, but we're working on our 8th year now, and glad you finally found us. Make sure that you tell a friend about us, especially someone who's into pop culture, someone who's into comic books, someone who's into video games, someone who's into all that kind of stuff, because we got you covered right here as much as we possibly can squeeze into 2 hours. No politics here, because you get plenty of that with our award-winning programming throughout the week, and it's okay to have a good time, sit around, laugh, or be stuck on Woodruff Road and laugh. And you know, it's hard to laugh when you're stuck on Woodruff Road. And we've all been stuck on Woodruff Road, without a doubt. I am not alone in this endeavor. First, let me tell you that T2 is not here today because he's in the process of moving. And he only you have those friends that are the big heavy lifters. And his big heavy lifter was only available today. So I'm like, yeah, go ahead, take it off. But you know what you're going to miss? You're going to miss the beginning of the Upstate Pulse video game bracket, but he filled his bracket out. So we will have 4. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But Tim missed out on an opportunity. You know, there's some able-bodied people in this room who possibly could have helped him move furniture, including me, and including show contributor Cameron, who is with us tonight.
Ah, yes, I can lift heavy things.
And the strongest person among us, Matthew.
Hello, I am a toothpick.
There we go. A toothpick.
I was just going to say, by the sheer weight of his charisma.
Yes, that's right. That's right. He will find a way to lift that couch. So Tim not here today. He should be back next week, and we will be full force, full array, full something. I don't know. Definitely full of a lot of things.
If we want to be historically accurate, technically, I will find a way to be the person to hold the door for the people carrying the couch.
Hey, that guy's important. that guy is very important. The
He is
person
a
who
very
holds the door,
important person.
especially because if you let the door go at the wrong time, you get hit in the butt. You may drop the couch. May cause that couch to fall on someone. They may end up falling down the stairs and end up in the hospital. You don't want that to happen. So make sure you get a guy or girl. Doesn't matter, who can hold the door and hold it well, like Matthew can. All right, on today's show, first of all, I want to apologize again. I'm going to have some coughing fits. I know I am, because I can't shake this crud. And LexCorp's been after me to go get the allergy test done. I want to know, text line 71307, or you can see us live on Facebook at 106.3 WORD or the Upstate Pulse or Lonzo on Word, or you can see us live on Twitter at 106.3 WORD or Lonzo on Word, or you can see us live on Twitch at the Upstate Pulse. And I think I forgot one in there. So just look up the Upstate Pulse. You're going to find us. We're live. Send us a message there or on the text line 71307. Have you ever had an allergy test done? Now, my boss, LexCorp, is he's chastising me. He's telling me, you're miserable. This will help you. You need to go have that done. But I'm not afraid of needles, but I don't like the idea of multiple needles.
I got an allergy test done as a kid. And let me tell you, getting an allergy test done as a 6-year-old is not fun.
Yeah,
You
you
could feel the trauma
Especially
coming
when
off
I'm
of that.
allergic to like half of what they studied.
Yeah, there you go. So they do that skin test, and to find out what you're allergic to, your skin like flares up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And And then he said they do it on your back now. And I'm like, yeah, but I
That's
have,
where I had it done because I was a kid, so that's the
Yeah.
only place that had enough room to do it.
see the problem there.
And you were pretty small then too.
yeah.
Oh, I was always a really small kid.
Yeah.
So the problem with that on my back is it's the hair. I mean, there's about I've seen, kind of things in the mirror, and there's hair back there. So I don't know if so it's like getting waxed and needled at the same time. So
I
it
feel like the wax would honestly be worse than the needles.
Probably.
but you're getting stuck, and then some hair is going to come out of there, and so I'm going to get double pain.
I also feel like I'm the only one who isn't scared of needles.
Oh, I was horrible as a child when it came to needles and getting shots. I would make a fit. I'm a lot better now, obviously, because I'm an adult.
Why is it obvious?
I'm a man.
Why is it?
I am a man.
Why is it obvious that the fits are not? We don't know. I'm not afraid of needles. I just don't like the idea of multiple needles. You're gonna stick me once, I can do that. But if you're gonna stick me 35 times, we got a problem. So I think I'll just endure twice a year having to deal with this and finding medicine that barely touches it. But I was always sick in Ohio. So if you've had it done, let me know. Let's see. Viper on Twitch says my doctors have been telling me I need to have one done as well because I've had a breakout to almost every antibiotic I've been given. I just don't want to go through with it. Yeah, that's
if you're
the thing.
having an outbreak with all the antibiotics that you get, you probably should go through with it, though.
I
'cause
don't
feel
know.
like that's something you need to get checked on to make sure that when you do need an antibiotic, that they can prescribe you something that will not cause a reaction.
Well, I will say I'm not going to profess to be a doctor or give you medical advice.
Yeah, this is not medical advice. This is general person advice.
A general life advice. Check
Yeah.
yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah, do that. Which is
With
why
medicine.
even though LexCorp is pressuring me, he's not pressuring me. He's pressuring me as someone who's concerned about me and how sick I've been to go take care of it. Because if a shot once a week makes this stuff go away, that's fine. But the problem is it only happens like twice a year. So I don't want to have to take shots all year long for something like this. And it's usually when the weather changes.
I think
So-
he's just trying to debooger the monitors.
Just be like me and literally suffer from allergies 24/7, 365.
See, for someone like you, then it would help to get the shots once a week, I'm assuming.
I would not want to get a shot every week.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
God, no.
Yeah. You would tend to get some sore spots. So if you've ever had it done, let me know. He says it's no big deal, but he also has a very twisted, sick sense of humor. So knowing that I endured that kind of pain would probably bring a smile to his face. So
I don't know
I
why.
mean,
I just imagine a very husky German nurse just administering the shot every single
hey,
time.
don't laugh about that. I've met one of those before. I knocked my teeth almost completely out by hitting the corner of an iron table my
Ooh.
junior year of high school. And
Who makes iron tables?
well, it was in the living room. We were playing a game called Laser Blast that we made up in the living room. It was a snow day. I was supposed to be wrestling that day for City in Columbus, but they canceled it for that day. So I was at my cousin's house, and you throw couch cushions and whatever part of your body you get hit with, you can't use. And so I dived out of the way, hit the corner of an iron table.
Mm.
So one of my teeth was pushed all the way back. I had springs because I had braces. They all exploded and stuck into the sides of my jaws.
Ooh.
And so they had to take me into, because it was a snow day, everything was closed, but they managed to get some emergency dental people in, and they weren't used to doing what they had to do. So the guy said, "This is going to hurt." I'm like, well, I couldn't say anything because my mouth is all messed
He
up.
went, huh,
Yeah. And
hey.
a nurse walked in. In my mind, this was a long time ago, but in my mind, she had to be 6'2" and well over 350. She walked in and put her hands on my shoulders, and I'm like, oh my God, what is he going to do? So after he had dipped like cutters in alcohol and then snipped all the parts. So I don't even know if it was a real dentist. I mean, they may have the janitor's here. He can do it. Yeah, I could do it. I don't know. So then he reaches in.
I finally get to use my my veterinarian. Veterinarian.
I've been watching.
degree.
He's a hairy young man, so it might as well be a dog. So he stuck his
Oh,
thumb into my mouth and pushed my front tooth back into place.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which is why, and then so if you see one of my teeth or front teeth are just off a little bit, that's the one that was pushed all the way.
you know,
back.
everything considered, he did a good job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
no, absolutely.
And
But
by the way, my teeth
I-
were straight. They're not anymore because I lost my retainer, which you never should do, kids. Never lose your
I
retainer.
lost my retainer.
Yeah, but in my case, this was back in the 80s.
I love that my retainer
Technology,
is built into me.
yeah, technology has improved since then. So yeah, that lady put her hands on my shoulders, and I can tell you, I could not move. They were those are the I was in some strong hands, man.
Hey, some
So,
people would pay to be in that situation.
yeah, some people would, and I hope none of those are listening right now. All right, what we're gonna do?
Well, we wouldn't want to stereotype our
We
listeners.
don't
No,
shame people
we would
here.
not.
Yeah, we don't shame people here.
I am going to, or we are going to, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are getting started on the video game bracket. So let me explain something before we go to break, because we need to get into this. All right. So even though Tim's not here, he has already filled out the first round of his bracket. We are not going to get through the first round today. The first round takes a couple shows. We're not going to spend the entire show on it, but we're going to spend a good portion of it because we want to give each combatant, if you will, their due. And these are video games. We know a lot about a lot of them, and some of us may not know something about one, but the others might. So we're going to tell you our reasoning for picking said game when we get to it. So if in the event it is a 2-2 tie, what we will do, we will go to the text line. By the way, if you don't have the text line punched into your phone, you should go ahead and have it, just write it down now, 71307. So here's what I would do. So if I would look at the games that are coming up, you know how you could do that? You could go to 1063 WRD's Facebook page, the Upstate Pulse Facebook page, or Lonzo on Words Facebook page, and you will see that I posted earlier the entire bracket. So you have a good idea, because we're going to go in order, about what the next matchup is. So I'm going to tell you the very first matchup is Final Fantasy versus Pikmin. So let's say you're a big Pikmin fan and you want Pikmin to take down the mighty Final Fantasy. So in case of a tie, I would go ahead and have Pikmin written in, also typed in
Goofy
to your phone, typed into your phone and ready to go and ready to send. Because if there's a tie, I'll give you a countdown of 3, 2, 1, or Matthew might give you the countdown, or Cameron might give you the countdown. And then the first person to text their answer through, that's the one that goes through. Now, you can use strategy if you want. You can go, okay, I don't like Lonzo, and Lonzo picked that game, so I want to make sure that Lonzo's game doesn't go through. Hey, I'm not going to judge you by your intentions. There's no way I can know. So you pick it that way. Or maybe Matthew's your favorite, and whatever Matthew picks, if it's a tie, you're going to go with Matthew, and you're going to pick that that particular game to go through. And by sometime in April, probably, or maybe sooner, we will crown the best video game of all time, according to the Upstate Pulse. So be ready. Have your texting fingers ready. Text line 71307. When we come back from the break, we are getting this thing going. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD. Continuing live, the show keeps going during the break on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You people are ready. About to do this thing. Yeah. Let me take my glasses off so I can read.
I was gonna
this.
say we have the ghost of Tim in here. I just heard like a little whispered, bro.
Exactly, Chris. Ooh, yeah. I've seen those, John. My mom had one of those.
That's not fun.
And thank you. We appreciate you listening to the show. Let's check out the text line. Evening, guys. Heard a week or so ago that Disney's revenue is down, and as a response, they will be cutting back and spacing out Marvel and Star Wars. I jumped around.
Oh no!
Productions.
Not Disney's revenue.
Well, focusing on improved
Oh.
quality, quite a number of observers online are saying, "We told you so." Your thoughts? Also, XCOM is better than what? Kirby from Scott.
The vitriol has already started.
Yes, yes, it has.
So it's okay, Scott. We're all allowed to be wrong.
hey, everybody, as I've said, and I said in my email and I sent to these guys, and this is my new tagline, I think, I can't make everybody happy, but I can make everyone mad. And I'm going to go with that.
Heck yeah.
I mean, that basically might as well be my mission statement for life. So,
Unfortunately, ET for the Atari did not make the bracket somehow.
I know it's hard to believe.
It was a close one. It was a close call.
It was really close.
It could have been.
Chris, that's up for debate too. Chris asks, well, what is the best game maker out there today? It depends on what kind of games you're into.
It does. I think it would go to probably an indie studio though today. I feel like a lot of AAA studios are kind of falling behind.
I'm going to go with Bethesda, but that's because they make a couple of my favorite games.
But we're talking about today.
Right. Starfield's going to be awesome.
I wouldn't say that until it comes out. As far as like giving it to them, I'm not going to give anything
today.
to them before.
Yeah. They made it today, this day, on February, whatever day. I mean,
this day, February 25th, 2023.
I would say within the last, like, when I hear today, I think within the past, probably with the way the pandemic is, I would say post-pandemic.
Okay.
I think that's a good time frame to say today, because that's kind of a good marker for an era.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, if it's not a big name game maker, I probably don't know who they are. Either the game's good or it's not. I don't go. I was having a discussion with Dante about this today. He was asking me about a certain artist that makes some action figures. And I'm like, yeah, it looks cool. So that's why I'm buying it. I don't really look at it.
No.
I also think Bethesda's really dropped the ball.
With 76 for sure. But
no, before that, Fallout 4 and Skyrim.
Wow, we're fighting already because see what's happening is Matthew, and you can see us during the break on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or Facebook. Matthew's coming at my favorite company with my favorite games already. And here's what I probably will do. If I were the kind of guy who retaliates, I would try to make all Nintendo games lose just because he's coming at. And that's how this, I mean,
you would never do that.
No. I said, if I was that kind of guy, I mean, we know that this is me we're talking about. I am,
you never do anything spiteful.
I was saying on the Fan Upstate, which is the other station I'm on. I'm the heel over there. I'm not over here. I'm not a heel over here. It's a wrestling term. Either
I'm aware of what a
heel
is,
or a baby face. And I'm a baby face over here for sure. Never the heel. All right. Before we get to the
we
first,
all know who the real villain of this story is.
Yeah. And he's not related. That was enough space while he knew right away who we were talking about. And it's not, father and son versus Matthew. That's not how that works. Even though Matthew might think so. It's just me versus Matthew. He's just over there. I mean, that's all it is. All right. Before we get to,
say it's just you versus the world, Dad.
Well, it is. All right. Thanks, Dave. Dave says, love you guys. All right. We're not going to ignore all your Facebook and your,
I love you too, random citizen.
Yes. Before I just mentioned Borderlands Comics and Games, which is our sponsor, which is awesome. Cameron and I just went over there today, and I gotta tell you something. By the way, it's at 410 South Pleasantburg Drive. Don't tell Rob Young, okay? Rob Young is away. He's at Pensacon, which is Pensacola Comic-Con. So he's in Florida right now. While he's away, they're doing a Bosses Away sale, and it continues tomorrow. We went over there today, including Cameron got last week. We talked about the new minifigs. He just happened to purchase one. So if you're looking on the screen, you can see what he got, which is really, really cool. And I'm going to show you guys what I got. I'm going to show you. So you got to look. I know it's an audio medium, so I'll explain it while I get it.
So for the ones I got while Dad's grabbing his, I got the new 3D models that they are currently picking up from
Third Dimension.
From Third Dimension. Thank you. They look really good, and they're also pretty good on the price, because like I got like 3 figures for $7. And then if you're looking on the stream,
wait, you left the price tag on that. You're not supposed to do that. That shows that they're on sale and marked down. Don't tell Rob
What?
Young.
I'm not supposed to do this?
No. Don't tell Rob Young because
So don't do this.
he's not, don't tell him that there's while the boss is away sale going on. All right.
Because this was actually 60, but
Yeah,
now it's
here-
now it's this.
Here's what I got. I don't know if you can see this. This is a Nightwing, which I am collecting Nightwings from Kodo Bukaya, which apparently their line is pretty good, and they've got several things. I went there today, and with limited funds, can only buy one thing, and there was like 5 things that I wanted. So
That's
I
always
mean,
the
there you
case.
go.
Oh man,
There you go.
I spent like $100 during the big annual sale on grabbing all the My Hero Academia Vigilante volumes in print. But man, I don't have the money for it, but I might have to try anyway.
See, here's the thing. I would love to tell you about the things that they have over at Borderlands Comics and Games that I want to go buy, but I don't want you to buy them. So I'm not going to tell you. So I'm not going to. This is genuine. I'm not going to tell you the other things I want because I don't want to go. Which I may go back and they'll be gone. That's fine. But if not, it's not because one of you guys figured out what it was because I told you and you immediately went over and bought it. Which
It's
would
just because you also had amazing preferences, just like Lonzo. Just like how Lonzo definitely likes a lot of the games that I want to see win on the bracket today too.
Well, that doesn't work. That whole thing of speaking of that, let's go ahead and get started, which I was going to do anyway. But Matthew is starting to learn the art of the segue. He may have already known it, but he's doing an amazing job. All right, so the very first matchup we have in the 2023 Upstate Pulse video game bracket is Final Fantasy versus Pikmin. Cameron, you go first.
All right. So this is definitely a David versus Goliath kind of thing. Ooh,
Go ahead.
ooh.
I'll get it ready.
All right. As long as you do. So you've got
Have I never not noobed myself?
No, you're a man of honor and integrity. A spiteful man, but a man of honor and integrity.
Yeah. Don't you mess up today, buddy.
All right. So Final Fantasy has been one of the biggest juggernauts in all of gaming for forever. Since the beginning of modern gaming, maybe even like considered in like classic gaming. It depends on how you break up the eras. Been around for forever. So many different iterations, so many different ways that they've iterated the game, so many various stories. And then you got Pikmin. The story of some guy just stranded and picking up some vegetable people and sacrificing them in his bid to escape. So I feel like I'm going to go Final Fantasy here.
All right. Before we get to Matthew, I'll go next. My very first Final Fantasy game was 7. I got through a little bit of it and went, I don't like this game. And I put it away. And actually, I traded it back into GameStop. I was like, yeah, it's not for me. And then my cousin on eBay bought a PS2. And with it, excuse me, came Final Fantasy X. And she's like, do you want to try this? And I'm like, yeah, let me try it. And I was hooked right away. Final Fantasy X, the storyline was great. Very depressing because that's what they do. With just the right amount of hope to make you think it's going to end well.
They know how to rip out your heart.
Which it kind of does. In the end, he's just a dream. Unless you have the special, unless you do everything a certain way, and then he actually is alive at the end. Anyway, Titus, whatever his name is. They also have a mini game inside the game called Blitzball, which is soccer underwater. And would spend hours playing just the soccer underwater Blitzball because it's pretty cool because you can mimic moves from other people and integrate it into your own move set. It was really, really, and it's turn-based and with all the summons and everything. It was my first, I loved that game to the point where that made me go back and play 7 again. And I played a couple other ones. All the Final Fantasy games with lightning on them made me mad, especially the first one. It's like,
so X and X2.
Yeah, it's like, what? Why? Why did she die? But then I started.
Spoilers for a 20-year-old game.
Yeah, I don't care. And then 12. I think it was 12 with the Sky Pirates and with the bunny women. Was it 12? I believe it was.
Yes,
12.
I believe.
Yes, it was 12 with the bunny.
They were really tall. They were really tall bunny women. And so I played.
Don't
and-
remember much about the plot, but
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
the
Oh,
and
I
then-
remember those
I
bunny
think
women.
I think it
though.
was yeah, exactly. Thank you. That was just the right kind of base you needed for that. And then I think it was 14 was the one with the last one. I believe.
15.
Was it 15? Okay. By the way,
14 is an MMO.
Yeah, you're
Which,
right.
Yeah,
by the
14
way,
MMO.
so if you're playing 15, that almost would make me not vote for Final Fantasy
It's really bad.
because everyone dies. You know, there was all this hype about the game and everything, and then people just shut up. I'm like, this can't be good. I mean, the internet just stopped talking about it. I'm like, okay.
'Cause it was bad.
Finally, you get to the end and everyone dies. Okay, no one survived out of the crew. They just all died.
but they saved the world, right?
Yeah, they did from darkness, which is never a bad thing. So, all that being said, I'm going with Final Fantasy strictly because of Final Fantasy X and the love that it brought up in me about those kind of games after I played it. So that is 2 votes for Final Fantasy. Sorry, Pikmin. It could be a tie though. Matthew could go Pikmin.
I could. And you know what? Pikmin is a really fun and really good franchise. Unfortunately, I am one of the biggest JRPG fans that you will ever meet. I absolutely love the Final Fantasy series,
Nani?
specifically the early Final Fantasy games. I'm not actually a huge sci-fi fan. Last show when we did the play-ins, we mentioned Xenoblade Chronicles is one of my favorite JRPG series, but that's actually a sci-fi series. But what I love about RPGs is getting in and just swords and magic and wizards and knights. I absolutely love fantasy RPGs, and Final Fantasy and the spiritual successor to those classic Final Fantasy games, Bravely Default, I absolutely love. They are some of my favorite times to have in an RPG setting. So I'm 100% on the Final Fantasy train.
All right, so it wouldn't matter what Tim voted for, but Tim also voted Final Fantasy, which is not a surprise. He's talked about his love of Final Fantasy also. So if you were looking for a tie, it did not happen with that matchup. But who knows? Maybe this next one there will be. All right, our next matchup is Red Dead, either 1 or 2, versus Pac-Man. And I am curious and to see how this is going to go, because Red Dead has, especially online, Red Dead 2 has a big following. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going on this. We'll let Matthew go first. Red Dead or Pac-Man?
I'm actually pretty more on the side of Red Dead here. I think Pac-Man is a really good game, and it holds a very monumental place in gaming history. But I think that it just can't quite compete with some of the juggernauts of the modern era with some of those different gameplay interactions, mechanics, and storytelling that we see in some of those modern games. I don't think it quite holds up as much.
All right, Cameron?
I'm gonna go for a bit of the old time bit right here. Pac-Man is one of those classics that has been around for forever. It's one of those games that when you think video games, Pac-Man is one of the first things that you think of. So I think I'm going to go with Pac-Man here.
All right, I will tell you, T2 also went with Pac-Man. So here we go. We've got Matthew going with Red Dead, T2 and Cameron going with Pac-Man. What am I going to go with? Because I'm old school. And so I was around back when Pac-Man first came out, hit its popularity. I was around when Miss Pac-Man came out and totally blew away all the Pac-Man stuff. You throw a bow on something and people want to play it for some reason more.
Crazy.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So would it be bad if me, the old guy, were to not go with the old game? Because if I didn't go with the old game, then it would be a tie and we'd have to go to the text line.
But that would be fun.
It would be fun,
You
and
can't have that.
and I do want people to get to participate on the text line part of this show, and I could do it just for the show, but I'm not going to, and I really considered it, but I don't like Red Dead. And here's the reason why. Got Red Dead 2. Cameron and I both got it for Christmas a few years ago, and my horse kept dying because I didn't feed him, and I go into play a game. I don't want survival mode. I don't. I'm going to escape life where everything is survival mode. I don't want to have to worry about feeding my horse.
Wouldn't life be better
I
with
don't-
less or with with the difficulty slider?
Absolutely. And you would get criticized like a lot of people if you're not playing it on Legendary. I do believe I've reached that.
If your life
few
was a game,
times.
what would be your mod list?
Yeah. Yeah, we probably shouldn't go
I
into
wish
that.
I had a mod list.
All right. So anyway, I'm going with Red Dead. I'm sorry. You guys will get a chance to play. Actually, no, I'm going with Pac-Man. I'm sorry. I am sick. I'm going with Pac-Man. I can't go with Red Dead because I just can't. I've complained about that game on the air way too much. And that would be going against my principles. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get to our next matchup. I'll go ahead and tell you what it is. It is Warcraft versus StarCraft. And I've already had an complaint within the show about that, which is exactly why I did it. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD. Continuing live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. All right, I stay true to you guys, okay? We went with Pac-Man. I understand with the part of the demographic that's in my age range. You're welcome. If it was going against something else, probably wouldn't have made it, but I do not like Red Dead, and I don't get it. I don't.
That's fair.
I don't. Just like Skyrim came out with survival mode. No, thank you. Other things come out with survival mode. Nope. Don't want it. I want to go in and I want to be able to cancel the need for food. I want to walk and fight for 35 days in a row and never have to eat. That's what a video game for me is for. It's escaping reality.
Oh yeah. No, and I'm
It's
not.
also a very terrifying being in general. It's like, I don't care for sustenance. I only want battle. I shall feed off of
battle
combat.
is my sustenance.
And it's not that I dislike sci-fi or anything, Chris. I'm just more of a fantasy fan than I am a sci-fi fan, is all.
People have different tastes.
Exactly. And
So-
I just love
And some
magic.
people like seaweed.
Whatever, man. It's nasty.
You don't
Thank
like
you.
seaweed?
Thank you.
No, it's gross.
Why am I not-
It's slimy and
should we-
ugh.
Yeah. Good.
Is it moist?
2 out of the 4 do not like seaweed. Because Tim doesn't care. I think he likes seaweed, actually.
Y'all are lame.
Whatever.
I think the
All right,
thing
so you
is,
can
I'll
see
eat just
why-
about anything.
You can see why
So-
this takes a while to get through.
Oh yeah.
Because we had the same, I'm not going to say problem because it's not a problem. We had the same passion with our sci-fi bracket, with our villains bracket, with our TV comedy. I mean, we all these things, we have the same passion. We will get to ties. Trust me. It's going to happen.
I like to call this as the Socratic rap battle, like we had back in the day.
Socratic?
Socratic.
Like Socrates?
Yeah, like my boy Socrates.
They ain't nothing like a toga. That's all I got to say.
There's a reason why it's associated with partying. It
All right,
was
Trey
Socrates.
says, I love playing Red Dead. I put more hours into that series than I have for Pac-Man, but I understand Pac-Man getting the vote. It's iconic to video games.
Oh yeah. I absolutely.
Red Dead probably should have won, but I don't like survival. And that's you know.
Oh yeah. I think that Red Dead is probably a better franchise than Pac-Man as far as like as a game and gameplay and whatnot. But I think that the iconography and the significant impact of Pac-Man does mean something.
Plus, I
Absolutely.
saw my sister turn Miss Pac-Man over on Atari 2600, which you have to get to, I think it was 1 million. She's breaking out in hives. My mom was like, no, you got to go to bed. I was like, no, you got to let her do this.
This is important.
It was too. We were just talking about on the stream how my sister turned Pac-Man over on the 2600. Back in the day, when you reached a certain amount, it went back to 0. And my mom wanted her to go to bed. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. She's about to turn this thing over. She's breaking out in hives. She's kind of got kind of the the redhead pale kind of thing, so the splotches really jump out on you because she's so pale.
yeah.
She's paler than Cameron, and I know.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, it is. So
I make ghosts look tan.
so she had hives on hives, but she turned the whole thing over, and that was amazing to witness. And I went to 0. My mom was like, "That was it?" Like, "Yep, that's it." And she went to bed. But she turned it over, and she will always, in my mind, be the only person I ever seen turn a game over, and it was awesome.
It's a bragging rights thing.
Mad respect
Oh,
for
yeah.
my sister. All right, it's time for the matchup. That's a good matchup. It's a great matchup. It's a difficult matchup. It's a matchup that Cameron has no clue what either one of us are going to do or what T2 is going to do. Warcraft versus StarCraft. Cameron, the floor is yours.
Okay. This might take me a minute to
Keep
Get-
in mind we have another break, so you can go 8 or 9 minutes, but after that, I'm going to have to cut you off.
okay, good. I can't Christopher judge this.
No, you cannot.
Okay. So StarCraft and Warcraft are, well, just for starters, were a major part of my childhood. Both of those games I played relentlessly when I was a kid. I love StarCraft 1. I did the campaign multiple times. I would sit and do skirmishes, get
Missile
my butt
launch
kicked.
detected.
Exactly. All the iconic lines and stuff from it.
In
Warcraft.
the pipe, 5x5.
And in Warcraft, same thing. Same thing with the same RTSs. It's not easy being green. Stuff like that. It gets stuck in your head and it goes on forever. I will always remember the unit lines, including a Dragoon making a reference to RoboCop when you click on him enough. And to the storylines themselves being so good and so well done that it just brought me into those worlds. And I love them so dearly. But I think when it comes down to it, they are two different games, but they are two similar games. But one had more longevity than the other one to a degree. I think Warcraft beats StarCraft because of World of Warcraft. And it's had a much larger impact for a lot longer, because there was a period of time where StarCraft wasn't around. Like when you had StarCraft 1, it was great. It lasted for a long time, but then you had that long period between 1 and 2. And in between that gap, you had Warcraft 3 and you also had WoW, and WoW has been continuously been a thing even until now. Now, it's had its ups and downs, and it's had its storylines that were bad and some that are good. And I know that the most recent expansion has actually been pretty good. I need to get back into it. So, all that said, all that meandering done, I will kill my darling of StarCraft and go with Warcraft.
Wow, what a way to put it. Text line 71307. Texter says Warcraft is OG. Another texter says I turned over Mega Mania. It wouldn't go any farther. I got 999,999
Way to go, man.
problems. And anyway,
That game ain't one.
yeah, and that game ain't one. Chris on the stream, but you can check us out live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, either at the Upstate Pulse or at 106.3 WORD, says, I'll sit this one out. You know who won't sit this one out? That would be Matthew.
Yeah, and you know what? I've got a lot of stuff to say about this matchup too. Not necessarily on the StarCraft side, because I haven't really played a whole ton of StarCraft. I've played a little bit here and there. It was just something that I never really got into a whole ton. But I had a lot of friends that played it, and I would play it with them some, and I had a fun time. But on the other side is Warcraft, and Warcraft holds a pretty important place in my heart adjacently, because I played a little bit of World of Warcraft, not so much the original Warcraft games, but for those that don't know, I am a massive MMORPG fan. I've put hundreds of hours, possibly even hitting the 4 digits of hours in different MMOs over the years, especially growing up. And some of my fondest memories of gaming that I have are held in an MMO known as Terra Online. And I would not have any of those memories if it was not for the granddaddy of MMOs, it's themselves, World of Warcraft solidifying the genre that I love so much and giving me giving the world that an, the chance to evolve on and bring it to that stage where I could go around with my guild mates and just have fun, so much fun on a Friday, Saturday night, running dungeons and making goofs of ourselves. So I have to give it to Warcraft because maybe I don't have as much ties to Warcraft itself, but for what it has meant for me and my gaming experiences growing up, I have to give it to there.
All right, so Warcraft versus StarCraft for me, I really love StarCraft. There's a reason why I'm going with Warcraft. And it's not because I think gameplay, they're pretty equal and they mean about the same to me. I did play some World of Warcraft that was kind of fun, but it was too crowded. And when I play a game, I want to be immersed in a way where I don't have to deal with people coming up to me and try to talk to me all the time. I don't like that in real life. I don't like it when I'm
That's actually
when I'm
the
playing a
opposite.
game.
I love that, and that's one of the things I love about MMOs.
All right, so
It also depends on how they're talking.
yeah,
That's
well,
also true.
but the real reason why I'm going to vote for Warcraft is because of Matt Tomlinson. Okay, Matt Tomlinson used to be on the air with me for 14 years here on WORD, and he's a sandbagger. He's a person who pretends like he can't do something just so he can humiliate you to the
He's a
point
shark.
where you just don't want to have anything to do with him. So if he invites you to play a game, say no, which is what I do. He played Cameron and I together and just wiped the floor with us, did the stupid Zergling move and beat us. He kept laughing. Haha, you're turtling up again. And then he would destroy everything. And because of Matt Tomlinson, I'm going with Warcraft. If it wasn't for him, I would go with StarCraft.
RTS, the learning curve in RTS games is massive.
Keep in mind, I was a child, so
Yeah.
you know.
What else?
Oh,
so
he'd
you're
still
saying?
spank me today.
I was gonna say,
but
come on. He would still take you. He absolutely would. So Matthew also, or Tim rather, also took Warcraft. So Warcraft goes. So trust me, there are going to be ties. It's going to happen, but it'll have to happen after the break. You are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD. Our video game bracket edition continues after this break, and also it continues during the break. We'll continue this discussion on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
This talk of MMO stuff, I'm literally pulling up Discord and messaging some of my old friends now because I'm like, oh man, now I'm feeling nostalgic.
it gets you.
It does, dude.
By the way, if you can hear me and you're on the text line, I will get to your text when we come back, especially that first one. That's hilarious. And same with the stream. So as you can see, chances are this goes into the next hour because I want to at least finish the top half of the first half of the bracket.
How many more do we got?
A lot.
Oh, are we doing the entire
No, if we're
side or
no, just the top half.
Oh, okay.
Just the top half would
We're not
be
even halfway through that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. 5 more. I would like to get through the top half. We may not be able to, but I would like to. So how this works, if this is the first time you tune in while we're doing this, the first couple shows, it's going to take a little bit. Because again, we're passionate about the matchups. Some matchups are going to be better than others. And because of that, it's going to take a little bit of time to get through. But we're having fun. And if you're a gamer, whether you're an older gamer or a younger gamer, hopefully you're enjoying this or completely ticked off.
Welcome to the Old Greek Forum. It's exactly what I imagine when we're doing this, but
I don't get it. What's a Greek forum? I don't know what that is.
also Trey, I'm glad that made you laugh. And that's also funny.
I'm glad, Chris. Pace yourself, dude.
So back in high school, I played basketball in high school, and some of my friends from basketball, because I'm so pale, thought it would be really funny that if I don't remember how the conversation started, but it got to the point of talking about like rapper names or something.
Uh-huh.
And the joke was that if I was a rapper, my name would be MC Vanilla Bean.
That ain't bad.
That's good. That's a good way to own that.
I don't
Oh,
know.
no,
With
yeah.
today's rappers, you'd have to put little in that. You have to be
Or young.
But
or young,
MC,
little or young.
MC has a double meaning in that case because not only
Matthew Causey.
because it's
I
also
get it.
my initials.
It's a wonderful double entendre.
Exactly.
That's right, Chris. Toga, business up top, party down below.
Yeah, I went to a toga party once because I was required to by the fraternity. I know I didn't drink because I don't do
Wait,
that.
what
You
face
can
was?
go there and you can have a lot of fun with people who are drunk. But I took my sheet off of my bed in my dorm, and which hadn't been washed in a while, wore it as a toga. Then I went back to my room, took it off, and put it back on my bed, and still didn't wash it for a while
Oh.
because
There was a no pants party I went to one time, and I was a rebel. I wore pants.
Wow.
way to go, man. Way to stand out in the crowd.
I actually had a lot of good conversations that night and got a number, but because I was the only one wearing pants. Sometimes you got to find the way that you stick out.
I went to a strip poker party in high school, and the person that invited me didn't show up. So that was really awkward.
Oh, that's
I gotta say, I don't want any details.
No, I'm not sharing any
Okay,
details.
good.
That was the whole story that I was going to share.
see, now you've just piqued my curiosity. and I
No,
wanna know.
I'm not curious at all.
We can't investigate this anymore.
Time to get back to the show.
I have one funny story I'll share after the show.
Okay.
Will it be a stream exclusive?
Sure.
I'm just messing. I'm just messing.
Oh no, it's not a bad story.
Okay.
Like it's fine. It's just funny.
All right.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Alonzo and Matthew and Cameron here. Deep diving into our video game bracket. Text line 71307. A texter texted something about Joe Biden. Hilarious text, but we don't do politics here. I will say it was funny and well written. And guys who want to know what was said, too bad because we don't do politics here. Texter says, guys, my daughter can't believe Pac-Man beat Red Dead. Laugh out loud. Oh, it'll get worse. It definitely will get worse.
You never know what to expect with this.
It's better when there are 4 to 6 people in here because it will get heated. Especially think about it, how these brackets work. It's going to narrow down. There's going to be some matchups where people are really, really not going to be happy. Alan on the Facebook page says every time Matthew talks, all I hear is news. It's because he's one of the voices here on WRD of news. I'm not going to say he's the voice of news because those guys get angry if you single one person out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
and,
imagine as much,
they're-
understandably.
They're loud and boisterous and they'll come at you.
No.
I wouldn't
You're
say
not,
that, but
You
You're
try
not news.
as
We
far
are
as the
news.
come at you
yes,
part.
yes,
but
they're collective. That's what they
exactly.
The
Yeah.
news collective.
are. They are Borg. They
Matthew,
are. They are
you're a
news.
Borg.
Yes, he is.
You don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Because
He
you
does
don't
it.
know Star Trek.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. We're going to get into that eventually, but not today. All right. The next matchup is Destiny versus Half-Life. And I'm going to go first because Cameron wants to go first. So you can't go first every time. All right. I'm going to brag on Cameron a little bit. He plays Destiny a ton. He has the ability to buy things that other people don't get to buy because of all the raids and things he goes on. He's got t-shirts and rings and jackets and things,
The jacket which I have right behind me.
which is really cool. And supposedly you can't buy it unless you're in that club and have the ability to. So he can describe what the game is. I played it some, not into it that much because again, it's a game you can't really win to me. And you can fix that if you want. And then there's Half-Life. Half-Life is the first game that I played multiplayer with a bunch of other people and a bunch of other computers in the same home. And I was able to get some kills right away, and some people were very unhappy about it. And I realized how much fun that was and how lucky I was, because there's no way I should have been able to do what I was able to do. Um, and Half-Life has such a following, and but I can't go into the nostalgia every single time and go, yeah, I got to go with this because of that. I got to go with Destiny. Destiny is a great game just because it's not for me. There's a point of pride that my son is able to do what he's able to do in Destiny, and he's met some good friends on there and everything. So for that reason alone, I'm going to go with Destiny. I will tell you, Tim Snow, T2, has also gone with Destiny. Matthew.
I've actually got to go on the other side here. I've got to go with Half-Life. I think I don't have a ton of experience with Destiny. I enjoy it, but the little bit that I played, I enjoyed it for the most part. But especially after Destiny 1 getting such a bad rep, I just got turned away from the series a lot. But Half-Life, on the other hand, I've always had a grand time going through both Half-Life 1 and 2, as well as the fan redubbing playthrough kind of thing called Half-Life, but the AI are self-aware. Absolutely go check it out if you haven't. It's hilarious.
No, I don't want anything that has to do with self-aware AI. But go ahead.
But it's really funny.
You spooked
But
him.
I really enjoy the series, so I've got to go with Half-Life.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. What will Cameron do? I wonder.
Oh, I wonder.
Well, I think I'll start off with I played Destiny 1 a little bit. I got into it, but I didn't have a group to actually play it fully. And this is one of those games where if you want to play all of the content, you need people to play it with because you can't solo everything unless, you're a god tier. But Destiny 2 is when I really started to get into it. I didn't get as into it until 2020, and I got introduced to a good group of friends I have now on the thing. I got invited to their Discord server. I started talking to them, started running different things with them. Uh, and this was an experience I've never had before. Matthew, when you were talking about your experience with what was it, Terra?
Terra
Online?
Online, yeah.
Yeah, Terra Online. I had a similar experience with Destiny with this. Because I had never really had a group of friends to really play games with. I have always played games by myself because in a lot of ways I like to get out and I like to be with people and everything, but I've always been kind of solitary to a degree. And
Boo, people.
okay. But this has been, well, I guess this is part of growing up to a degree of actually expanding social circles and whatnot. So it just feels like that was another mark of change for me, just on a personal level. And the gameplay is phenomenal. It's made by the same guys who made the original Halo 1 through 3 and Reach. So it's Bungie. And they have their ups and downs as far as like story and stuff goes, but they've been hitting their stride a lot lately.
All right, make your pick.
I do feel like Christopher Judge now. I'm going with Destiny.
All right, big shock there. Also, we're going to continue, but I've decided to make a switch. We're jumping to the other side of the bracket and doing the top 4 matchups on the other side of the bracket when we come back, just because I want to, just for variety, just because I have that kind of power. I would do an evil laugh, but I definitely will cough if I do that. All right, you are listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD. Don't go anywhere. During the top of the hour break, we will continue live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. By the way, mixed bag on social media about who they wanted to win. Some say Destiny, some say Half-Life. The bracket continues after this. I just realized that I think a lot of the matchups over there are going to be cut and dry. And jumping to the other side, I think we got some pretty good matchups.
Are we going to the right side?
So we're jumping over. We did the top 4 on the left side. We're going to jump over and do the top 4 on the right side.
Okay.
Okay.
Where are we? Maybe we just totally throw everything off.
And just go to a random section in the
Yes.
in the middle of somewhere.
Here's the thing. Maybe you just roll a D4 and
Oh,
just
no,
decide.
no. We're jumping down to Mario versus Sonic, and we're doing that section.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So there'll be 4 matchups right there, including like Fallout versus Baldur's Gate,
Fable, Metroid,
Dark
and
Souls
Dark
versus
Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest. So I think we got a better shot there, and I really want to hear about the Mario and Sonic. So we're
I
gonna
think
jump
we
there.
do bottom to top. I think we save that one for last.
I don't know, man. I'm looking for something that ain't happened yet.
Okay.
There was a slight eye twitch.
That's just my face.
Oh, okay.
It's just the face I make.
Like, do you see the bags under my eyes? My eyes are permanently twitching.
Oh, dude, you need to get some more sleep.
Yeah, I wish I could.
All right, changed my mind. We're going back to the top.
Oh, okay.
All right, so here's the thing. No one's going to know what I'm going to do till I do it.
We're in a tornado of possibility and chance. We don't know where we're going.
Oh, we'll find out when he tells us the matchup.
Be prepared for all possibilities.
You know,
Like that
Viper
goat
is
from-
asking, how did Mario and Sonic get paired so early on? I'll never tell.
Because Alonzo chose for it to be.
I am not
Also-
going to give you my entire method of seeding, although mostly the top seeds are the money makers. You put the money makers in the bracket, then you go down and you start finding other things. I did make some matchups on purpose. That is one of them. So is Guitar Hero versus Rock Band. So are there like 2 fighter games against each other. And part of it is to maybe eliminate part of a genre so you don't have multiples of that genre. Maybe that's why I did it. Or maybe I did it because I know it will spark debate. And if your particular game, if you think they're going to win, they're going to have these matchups eventually anyway. Why not get it out of the way? Because whichever one wins, maybe the rest of that part of that bracket is not as hard. Tough test early. How bad do you want it?
I want it.
I had a song stuck in my head for that one.
I probably should stop this and start the other one.
By the way, Chris, Baldur's Gate 3 is going to come out at the end of August. Just to remind you, if you're not aware of that.
How could you remind him if he wasn't aware? If he wasn't aware, then
Hey,
you're
man,
not
my
really
head hurts.
reminding.
I've gotten all of my wonderful articulation has been used in all of my
So what you're saying
philosophizing.
is don't listen to Cameron for this on the second hour. Is that what you're saying? Because
me be dumb Cam.
okay, because I could just leave your mic off, I suppose.
Don't do that. I like talking. That's why I'm here. I'm also here as your aid.
Yes. And I need an aid today because I'm under the weather. What does that mean?
Or your vanguard or something.
Of course, how can you not be under the weather? I guess if you're in a house, you're not under the weather. No, you're still
You're
technically
still under the weather. You're
under
still
the weather.
It depends on where you consider the atmosphere. Are you within the atmosphere or are you under the atmosphere? It would be within.
Yeah, you're in the atmosphere. But you're also under the atmosphere.
No, you're not.
Yes, it does, Alan. And if you order early, you get the beta test.
Which I am probably going to do.
Me too. I've just been trying to decide when to actually make said purchase.
I'll fall a little bit behind on Destiny, but I feel like it'll be worth it just to try out some Diablo 4.
are crazy. You need to see these pictures. Remember the trucker shut down in Canada? They're doing that in the Netherlands.
No, you know what? We're definitely doing top right 4 because there's definitely opportunity for something to occur. Because we're definitely not going to sweep that. At least I don't think we will.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I definitely can say that there's going to be some division. Welcome into hour number 2 of the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo here along with Matthew and Cameron. T2 is off today because he's lifting furniture. And he's probably really tired now. You know, he's getting older. You move furniture and then you slow down for a second and then it all hits you at once. And then you realize you haven't assembled said furniture. So you end up sleeping on the bed on the floor. I mean, that's just how it works. When
Or
you
the
move.
mattress on the floor.
Yeah. I mean, or the floor. I mean, you take those couch cushions, you move them on the floor. You think, that'll be comfortable. It's not, but you're so tired. You don't care. And chances are that's probably the state he's in right now, but it'd be well worth it when he gets all that done and set up and everything. So in the first hour, we got through 4 matchups in our bracket. Normally, I would move on and just get to the rest of the show because we got other stuff to talk about, but I'm not going to. I'm not. We're gonna continue with the bracket for a little while longer, at least for one more segment, maybe 2, maybe the entire hour. I don't know. I have that power. We'll see what we do.
You seem like you're feeling very changeable right now.
I'm malleable like gold, baby. Before we get to the bracket, though, I want to tell you a secret. It's a secret, so you can tell your friends, but there's just one person you can't tell. Don't tell Rob Young what's going on right now at Borderlands Comics and Games. They're having the Bosses Away sale, and so they got some pretty good sales going on over there, and they are open on Sunday. So you should go over there and check it out tomorrow while Rob's away at PensacolaCon, also known as Pensacon. This is hard to say, Pensacon. It just sounds weird.
Yeah, Pensacon does. Yeah,
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, I know a guy from there, Rob Brown from Rob Brown
I'm
Show.
also resisting the
Yeah.
urge to call it Pensacola.
Yeah, well, Roman Reigns is also from there. Acknowledge him if you want. I won't. I'm Phil Anusi, so will not. So anyway, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive. Check it out tomorrow in the afternoon. Maybe you just get off of church. You want to go check out some vintage video games or some minifigs for your D&D campaign or some comic books or some statues or some pops or too many things for me to mention. Go check it out. And don't tell Rob that you went over there because he's away and he doesn't know that sale's going on. All right, let's get back to the bracket. We're going to jump over to the right side because I wanna and start out with the game. Speaking of Rob Young, that is the owner of Borderlands Comics and Games and the guy who created South Carolina Comic-Con and South Carolina Comic-Con Jr. I know what his favorite game is. If you've heard him on the show, you know what his favorite game is too. To the point where every time he sees Cameron and I, he brags about how he got invited to do the alpha and we did not because that's how much Diablo he plays. And now some of these are franchises. So in Diablo's case, Diablo, it's 1, 2, or 3, or Immortal, or whatever it is. Diablo that you love. Well, then that's what we're talking about. So Diablo is going up against Dungeon Siege. Dungeon Siege, several different games. I think it was 2 that I really, really liked.
2 was the really good one.
2
Yeah,
was, I
it
believe
was.
2 is the one where you could wear a bucket on your head. Just about anything you could find, you could use as armor. Was it 2 that you could put the bucket on your head, or was it 1?
It was 2.
Yeah.
I know another game on this bracket that you could put a bucket on your head in, and we'll get to that eventually, probably.
Yeah, I
I
can't wait.
know which one you're talking
Listen, it's kind of cool to have a bucket on your head and look at your character on the screen. He got a bucket on his head. And no, the armor level is not that big, but still, it's better
Like the
than
idea, like the bad guy's going like,
yeah.
yo, man, that guy's got a bucket on his head.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with him.
He's either crazy or he's insanely powerful.
Yeah, that's the kind of crazy I don't want a part of. You don't have to pay a toll. You may go on, sir. So Diablo is one of the first video games I ever played on computer. And it's one of the first, there's a couple games that I own on every system I have. Diablo 3 is one of those. So, and I know a lot of people don't like Diablo 3, but that's fine. I love Diablo 1. I let Cameron play it way too young because Andariel is naked. But she's also like 25 feet tall or something like that.
Also pixelated. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I couldn't tell
So
what
there's
things were.
especially on the computer that I had. It was very slow. You couldn't see the graphics card, not the greatest. The lowest end that you could actually play the game on.
Which, by the way, really funny going through Diablo 2 Remaster is like, there is so much nudity in this game. I never
Yes.
picked up on
Yes.
that.
There is.
Everything is naked.
Yeah, but soon it's covered in blood. So technically it's wearing something.
Oh,
You know? It's just, I mean,
does that count?
you know, I think it does. Does body paint count? Some people seem to think so. So your
body
body
paint does not count as a cover.
It
Yeah,
definitely is not.
yeah, so if body paint counts, so does blood.
All right.
anyway.
If the cops would arrest you for nudity for body paint,
I don't know how that works.
I would
Matthew,
imagine
do you
they
have any
probably
knowledge?
would. I'm
Yeah.
not certain on the
Yeah.
law for that. I've never had to
I know we do have
come to that at any point,
I
but
know-
I would imagine you would get arrested.
I know we do have some police officers who are or ex-police officers who are listening. Is body paint considered clothing? I'm curious.
Guessing no.
I'm really
guessing no.
really curious. So anyway, Diablo 2 was really hard when you had to face the one things after the ancients. I forget what they're called.
The minions of destruction.
Yeah, minions of destruction. I hated those things. I would run for hours just to try to get one. Someone who is an ex-cop, I'm not going to put your name up on the air, but you know, and I know, and we know who you are, says nope.
Nope.
So if you're on stream and you look for someone who said nope, then you know who I'm talking about. I'm just curious. I mean, you don't know until you ask, and ask an expert. So Dungeon Siege has a special place in my heart. One of the worst movies ever made was a Dungeon Siege tale that had Matthew Lillard in it. It had Jason Statham in it. It had Burt Reynolds in it as the king. It was so bad. It was so bad. Jason Statham was good because it's Jason Statham.
I'm just a farmer.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna beat people up.
Exactly. He just does what Jason Statham
I just
does.
want to find my family.
And Burt Reynolds is like just basically sitting there for most of the movie, and he got paid for it. Good for him. Matthew Lillard is crazy, but he's crazy in everything, especially as Shaggy. He was the ultimate Shaggy. And he was the original Scream Killer, one of the two that was a Scream Killer.
Also really big into D&D.
Exactly. All right. I'm going Diablo, Cameron.
I feel like this is one of those cases where you and I are going to see eye to eye on, because Diablo was very formative for me in good ways and bad. It created tolerances for me that I didn't.
I haven't seen a comment yet, so we're probably good. It's probably one of the times when she's not really paying attention.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But yeah, it's one of those things of it's also inspired me a lot as a writer, and any sort of imaginative way. It's definitely molded my creativity to a degree. And anyway, it's a good game. Diablo.
So Dungeon Siege is a series that I have literally never heard about before today. So I love Diablo. Don't actually know what Dungeon Siege is, so I've got to go Diablo.
And sometimes that happens when you don't know what the opposition is.
I think there's one, maybe two other series on this list that I don't know.
So
but
Matthew. So what you're saying is you're going with the devil, you know.
Exactly.
Hey, if we had Rimshot, but I don't know if we have Rimshot.
Oh, we do, but I'm not doing that kind of work. I'm just over here because someone else is not here. And if you're watching on stream, you know, even if a water sits all day, it can still kind of explode. Thank goodness we have carpet in here. And I make sure I open the water away from the board because I am a broadcast professional, except when I cough in the mic. Tim also picked Diablo. It doesn't matter.
Was this our first complete sweep.
No, we swept on Final Fantasy also.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. All right. So the next matchup, I can't wait for. I cannot wait for this matchup. I've been waiting all day for it. It's not the one I mentioned earlier. We're probably not getting to that one today. Halo versus Street Fighter. Matthew, go first.
So both of
He,
these
he rolled his
series-
eyes. I saw it. It was a little bit of a roll there.
both of these series are pretty interesting. So Halo is a series that I really didn't grow up with, but I have a lot of friends that did grow up with Halo, and it means a lot to them. And I respect that a lot. And I have gotten to go back and play through the Halo franchise a little bit. And a Twitch streamer that I'm friends with did a playthrough of Halo a while back that I edited a highlights thing together for, that I had a really fun time with. But that's kind of where my Halo experience ends. I'm not a huge aficionado with Halo or shooter games in general, FPSs in general, for the most part. It's never really been my gaming repertoire. But on the other hand, we have Street Fighter, which is a fighting game. And I love fighting games. I have a lot of fond memories with fighting games. Street Fighter isn't the fighting game that I have the most experience with, but it is one that I do have some experience with, especially during my time back in college in Georgia. There was a pretty significant Street Fighter scene in the town that I went to college in. And I had a lot of fun memories watching and learning about the game and learning a bit deeper about fighting games in general through Street Fighter and a couple other fighting game franchises through that. And I hold those experiences really dearly. And I think that the moments that I have had and have seen with Street Fighter just kind of bring that to the forefront even further than the more limited experience I have with Halo. And I think Street Fighter, I think it takes it a bit.
All right, let's jump on the stream real quick. Chris says Halo, but I like Street Fighter. Kevin says Street Fighter is great, but Halo is better. Alan says Street Fighter easy. So this would be interesting if you guys had the opportunity to vote, and you never know, you might. I will tell you that T2, even though he is not here, has given his vote, and he votes for Halo. Cameron.
All right. So Halo has been one of those games that I have also enjoyed for a good portion. It's kind of weird for me, though. I actually started with Reach, which is canonically the first game in the series, or chronologically the first game in the series. I played that, got hooked on that, really enjoyed the customization, the multiplayer, and all that stuff. Enjoyed the gunplay and all that, and the story of humans barely able to stand against the Covenant and whatnot. I have a lot of fun memories of the multiplayer too. I played this a lot with my little sister. It was one of the few games that like we both enjoyed, and I knew I was going to get killed every single time I did this, but I'd just go, "Hey Raven, there's a mongoose, let's go." Just because it's such a dumb idea.
She is my daughter.
Yes, in the fact that she can't drive either in games, or can drive very well into things. But yeah, and I've enjoyed Street Fighter and Bursts, but Halo edges it out for me.
All right, so we've got 2 Halos and a Street Fighter. What am I going to do? If it were a tie, then I would ask you to text. I will say, loved Halo Reach, one of those few games that I played on every difficulty level and beat the whole thing. But it really made me mad at the end because you die. And I don't like it when I die. I don't like when I spend a lot of time through a game only to see everything fade to black. That ticks me off. I've invested all this time in this game, and yeah, I know I played it multiple times. Each time I got mad.
You know, they do make the joke of like maybe Noble Six is just in a cave somewhere.
Yeah, no, he's dead. Okay, your character is dead. That bothers me. Street Fighter, I get to fight on. Okay, Street Fighter is one of the OG fighter games. Probably the best fighting game on this list. I will tell you, Mortal Kombat and Tekken are also on this list. I don't know where you fall, but we have ourselves a tie, ladies and gentlemen. So text line is 71307. Do not text until I give you the countdown. When I give you the countdown, then text 71307. Either text Street Fighter or Halo. The one that you text, that will go through. Here is the countdown. Matthew.
3, 2, 1,
All right.
go.
All right. So
Boys, we got a hootenanny.
we got a text, but it happened before Matthew completed the countdown, so it does not count. Text line 71307, either Halo or Street Fighter. Oh, wow. Wow. They all came through at the same time. Halo, Street Fighter, Halo, Street Fighter. Thank you guys all for participating. The matchup that's going through is Halo.
By the way, as an additional note to those on the stream, we are going off of the text line only,
Yes.
just to let you guys know, so
Yep.
you don't get.
But we appreciate that.
Yeah, we still like the engagement there.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and get to 2 more matchups. Then we're going to get to some other stuff to finish out the hour. Don't worry, there might be another tie, so keep those fingers ready. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD, continuing live on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook.
I don't know why the Sergeant Johnson line, I could have been your daddy, just popped in my head, but it's did.
By the way, thanks everybody for lighting the text line up, because it's popping, as the kids say or used to say. I don't know what they say right
Is
now.
it also locking?
Is it slapping? Is it popping? I don't know what it's doing, but a bunch of people texted.
Matthew's dying inside.
I am.
He wouldn't know either. He has no. He's not. It's not like he's 19 over there. I mean, come on.
I spend all my time online.
You know your street lingo. You down?
I hate kids.
Spoken like a millennial.
Yeah, I am a millennial. I'm at the tail end of that.
Yep.
Born in 96.
And as I've said many times, and I don't know why I have to keep saying this, I am not a boomer. I'm a Gen Xer.
You're not?
Stop it.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Boomers don't play video games.
Yeah, they do.
Stop it. Don't think I don't know what you're doing.
Can I make that?
Skyrim grandma.
Exactly.
They're my people. Alan knows where it's at. Neither one of us know what the street lingo right now is, though. And neither did either one of you.
I know that it's not popping.
Is it still slapping, though?
No.
All right. Anybody out there have kids that are like teenagers can tell us, is it popping? Is it slapping? What's it doing? I don't know what it's doing. It's doing it, though.
I'm sure it's some other inane form.
What
of
is where it's
onomatopoeia.
at? How it be? I don't know. Somebody let me know.
Well,
I know
how
it
it
ain't.
be-
I know it ain't fab.
How
'Cause-
it be is timeless. It will always how it be. How it is.
Just like who dis. That's timeless. I
I
often
get that too much. I was like, come on.
no.
guys.
I often do that when LexCorp texts me. He loves that.
I was about to say straight fire is also a thing that's current.
Is it? Is Straight Fire current?
Oh,
Are you
yeah,
sure?
Alan
Stuff
commented
like
on
that is still a thing, yeah.
Well, we have a couple people at least, or probably more than that, watching on Twitch. That's where the people who know. No, come on. I it's not a.
I
I
got
don't
two
know.
words for you.
Can I
Trey.
get some poggers in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All we're going to get is what the nerds say today. We're not going to get what the cool people say. I want to know what the
Matthew.
cool people say.
Cringe.
Yeah, I'm.
What does the
permanently-
cool folks say? I don't know.
Yeah, me too, man.
We got our first matchup of one franchise against a Nintendo franchise.
Mhm.
Wonder how it be. I guess we're going to find out
How it do?
No.
what it is, what it be like. I don't know. We about to find out.
Oh yeah.
We about to come back in about 25 seconds. Exactly, Chris. Yeah, I don't know why there's a delay.
Probably something upset in StreamYard. But as far as Twitch, there's always going to be, since we're not like a partner or anything, there's always going to be like a 15 to 30 second delay.
Well, welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. We're smack dab in the middle. Well, not even in the middle. We're like at the beginning portions of the Upstate Pulse annual bracket, which we do every year. This is our 8th one. And Cameron can't even dispute that because I proved to him this is our 8th one.
Oh, you did a good job.
Yeah. I went back and researched just so because
You had empirical data on your side, and I respect that.
I channeled my inner Chris Evans and had a need to be right and prove someone else wrong.
And you just like heard in a ghostly voice is like, I just want you to be right, Lonzo.
Exactly. I do hear that voice. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but I hear that voice, sometimes 6 or 7 days a week because that's my friend.
Followed by screw logic, do donuts.
Yes. That's a voice that you never want to heed. All right. Our next.
I am your id.
Yeah. There's another part you could add to that. All right. The next matchup is a Nintendo mainstay, one of the originals or close to it, going up against a series that you have to. It's not everyone can get into because it's rough. It is. We are talking about the Far Cry series, whichever one you want, against Zelda, whichever one you want, or all of them combined. Far Cry, by the way, and my boy Herc, who's in almost all of them, even the Neanderthal one, I think. I just believe that Herc's in there. Even though you may not see him, I just believe that there's a husky Herc in there somewhere, and he got ate by a mammoth. It's possible. Daggone it.
Oh,
2 noobs in one
that's
day.
another noob.
And it's the same one, too.
Yes, it's the one that gets me all the time. It does. But, I can go in my defense and say I'm doing everything.
Oh, yeah. No,
absolutely. Because I was nice and I let someone off.
You're a one-man band with the 2 old Muppets.
If he were here, he would be the one getting noobed and not me. But he's not here. So anyway, Far Cry versus Zelda. I'm going to let the Nintendo Defender go first, Matthew.
So, Far Cry.
And don't worry, I'm going to noob myself. I have to find it. Go ahead.
But Far Cry is a really good franchise, I think, to me personally. I have a lot of fun with it. I enjoy it. But at the same time, it is a little hard to get into for some people. I think it's fun time. There we go. But as good of a franchise as it can be, I don't think it hits anywhere near the highs that is the appropriately terminology, if I can say, legend that is the Legend of Zelda franchise.
I see what he did. Did you see that? Did you catch that?
Oh, yeah.
The Legend of Zelda series it's beyond just a game to a lot of people, myself included. It is really something and an experience that sticks with you.
I don't know about you, but he just went sensual voice.
Your entire life.
That's weird.
My first experience with The Legend of Zelda was on the GameCube as a kid, playing the Wind Waker. And I literally spent hours upon hours on just the first little island, having no idea what I was supposed to do, just kind of exploring around. And then as I got older and I started to kind of understand gaming and how to progress and things like that, I finally got to go through that experience. And it's honestly life-changing because going through the Legend of Zelda series, it's an adventure series. And it's what defines an adventure game. It sends you on an adventure. It sends you on a journey to experience these wonderful, wonderful things. The characters, the world, the puzzles, the dungeons, the characters that you meet, everything, just everything about the Legend of Zelda series is so phenomenal. I have so many memories that I cannot separate from gaming as a whole in the Legend of Zelda series, whether that is sailing over the high seas in Wind Waker, turning into a wolf and exploring the world in a completely different way in a dark, depressing yet uplifting series in Twilight Princess, going through exploring across Hyrule Field and experiencing the origins of Ganon through Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time, and how that touched so many people. And so, I could say that about practically every single Legend of Zelda game. And if you look at the gaming landscape nowadays, a lot of what you're seeing from so many different RPGs and other games is this shift to open world gaming. And that really, while there were games that came before and set some establishments in that, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild really popularized that and made that the mainstay that it is today. And we're about to get that again, potentially, with the upcoming game later this year that I am so unbelievably excited for. I can't go any other way than go to Zelda.
All right. So there's Matthew's vote. And there's a part of me that goes, man, that was heartfelt. It means a lot to Matthew. How could I be mean and go against that? I mean, if you were on the fence, that delivery right there should have brought you over to the side that is Zelda's side. I will tell you that T2 voted Zelda also. So that is 2 for Zelda. I will also tell you the passion that you have for Zelda, I have for Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 is the first Far Cry that I played. And there are decisions that you have to make. And you are taken on a journey as you are abandoned, your family, your brothers and your brother, your friends, your fiance have been kidnapped by this psycho. And you have to try to survive. And there are times where you have to decide, especially at the end, do you stay with the girl in the jungle? If you do, your entire family dies. Or do you find a way to let your family go? And it's emotional, it's frantic, it's first person. You get in positions where you think you're going to die, and it's very immersive. And I've loved every Far Cry game. And if you want to see how it ended with the twins, you should check out Pappy Plays on the Dragon Pudding YouTube page.
The Adventures of Pappy and Leroy.
To see how much that that we love Far Cry. So I don't know where Cameron's going to go with this, but I'm going Far Cry. And so we have 2 Zeldas and 1 Far Cry.
I think this is...
You know what projection is, or like handing off? You don't want to be the bad guy yourself. So if there's a possibility of being a bad guy, you give it to someone else. That has nothing to do with any of this. It's Cameron's turn.
Well, with that being said, and with all things being things, I'm not going to give a lot of heavy-handedness or anything like this. I am very curious what the people think.
All right, we have a tie. And if it turns out a certain way, someone is going to be very unhappy over there. Far Cry versus Zelda. Who goes through? Text line, I will give to you in a moment. After I give you the countdown, 3, 2, 1, text 71307, Far Cry or Zelda. The first one that gets through, that is the game that gets through the anticipation. I'm not even looking at Matthew, but I can feel it from over here. Zelda or Far Cry, who gets through? Text line 71307 as we get ready to take a break. Wow. You don't have the text line up, do you? So he's looking. So we got 5 texts, 6. We got a ton of texts simultaneously, and it's still, as they say, scrolling away. But the very first text that got through was for Zelda. So Zelda goes through, and I want to thank everybody who voted Far Cry just to go against Matthew, because I'm sure that's what you did.
Well, the other thing is the people are going to choose Zelda.
There's a 1 Far Cry. There's 1 Far Cry amongst the Zeldas. They almost beat you. They almost did, and that's all it takes is one. That's how that goes. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we've got one more matchup, and then we're gonna call it a day as far as the bracket goes and get to a couple other things. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD, continuing live on the 106.3 and the Upstate Pulse YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook pages.
I unironically feel my heartbeat.
We can see that.
You were nervous. I wanted you to take. This is the beginning of that.
You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh god.
By the way, that's not why I picked it.
No, I knew that you were
Yeah,
gonna go for Far
Yeah,
Cry.
and
Because I've heard how y'all talk about it, so I knew that it was a thing that y'all really cared about.
yeah, I mean, we play that a ton. We have so much fun with it playing together too.
Oh yeah.
But the text line is full of nothing but Zeldas. Only one Far Cry.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll say this: you almost made me vote for Zelda.
Really.
Oh,
Yes.
no, that was a great job.
That was
Oh,
and
thank you.
that's what you have to do on everyone that you think might be close. And you got to know the room. You got to know the room. And you
Oh, yeah.
knew the room with that because you've heard us talk about that. And so that's the thing. All right, Jeff says Zelda is better than Far Cry. Chris says Zelda rocks. I could say
I love
something
seeing
that
the
would make
Zelda
Matthew
support.
mad, but I'm not going to. So, I mean,
the man already nearly had a heart attack. Leave him alone.
I don't think it was gonna be that bad, but
all right.
no.
By the way, Chris says the original Ultima was a similar thing. Ultima's on this list, by the way.
Mhm.
Don't worry, Matthew. I know CPR. I'd bring you back to life. You'd have a couple broken ribs, but you'd be alive.
All right, Jeff says, I would say it depends on what you want out of your game. Some people really love single
good
player
Jakowski
story driven games like
How good
Zelda,
Jakowski
and
would
others
take.
like FPS. Stop making me have to talk over you because
Sorry.
it's already hard to not cough. Shooters, community games, sports games, etc. Personally, my favorite game of all time would be Skyrim. Mine, that's one of my favorite games. Matthew and I are still playing
I love
Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Yeah, I am
will say-
stuck on a stupid.
I will say
thing
a
right now
Really
in
big
Skyrim.
thing when we come to those Bethesda games is probably going to be: do we include mods in that? And I don't think we do
Because they didn't.
because it's not Bethesda. It's not Bethesda part of it.
But
it's
this
an
is
extra thing from the
yeah. But at the
community.
same
And the
time,
community means something. But
I,
at the
I
same
think we're going to have
time-
to debate this because at the
Yeah.
same time, that's what's given this game longevity.
Exactly. Because when you take that out, you leave a game that was fun for a while.
By the
but
way, you take the mods out, I'm still playing it because that's I love that game. So
oh yeah, no, and that's totally fine. I could not play Skyrim without mods now.
see, Alan on
I
the stream
absolutely could
says
not.
I hate Skyrim. So I mean, there's some people who like it, some people who don't.
I hate what Skyrim did to Elder Scrolls lore. I will say that 100%. Nords were awesome, and then Skyrim happened.
I just want a game that I can lose myself in and forget pain because I'm in pain a lot of times, and video games helps me with that.
Oh yeah.
So if I can be immersed, they got a stomach thing that they can't fix. So if I can be, I don't need sympathy. I'm just telling you one of the reasons why.
Oh no, yeah.
Why I love that. That if I can be immersed to the point where I'm busy trying to figure out how to fix something, and I forget about the pain for a little while, then Skyrim has always been there for me. And I loved Oblivion too. Before Skyrim, I would play Oblivion like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Just to go to Oblivion and close the things. And there were many times where I misstepped and fell all the way down to the bottom, which was a horrible death, but still.
Oh, thank God, the lava broke my fall. Oh God, there's lava.
I will say
You little scamp, yeah.
the next matchup is going to have a lot of similar emotions for me on one side.
What is
Again.
this?
Help me. I lost my headphones.
There is Chris.
You haven't tried it yet, though. Well, welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo and Matthew and Cameron here, having fun on a Saturday night. This show is flown by, which they tend to do while we're doing this, especially because it's interesting, it's fun, and you get to see how many people are really into video games, which is one of the reasons why Chris and Zach and I were so happy when we got to start this show. And then we got Patrick and a bunch of other guys on it, and the new crew now who are all gamers and really into it. So it was just a natural progression. I was a little concerned about, I just really thought this would be hard. And that's why I kind of kept skipping past it. But we got to it now. We're in the middle of it, and we're going to crown a champion. Not today, not next week, not the week after. It's going to take a little while to get through it. But you know what? We have the time. The next matchup, and the last one that we're going to do today, is Uncharted versus Animal Crossing. Cameron, you go first.
Uncharted is or let me just phrase it like this. Both of these games are games I only know by proxy. I only just know Uncharted because Dad has played them before.
So do you want to pass it off?
You might want to pass it off.
You want to pass it off? You can pass it off.
No, I'm good. I'm good to talk about this.
I mean, if you want to give an actual introduction to them.
No. Listen, this is
fine. It's fine.
Don't demean him.
I'm sorry. I was just saying if you don't know much about them.
All right. See what you've done. What you may have done. What you may have done is you may have created an enemy for this particular segment.
That's not what I'm trying to.
Yeah, but you might have. You got to.
You're the one fanning the flames.
You got to. Yes, you got to know how to play the game, though, Matthew. He immediately, his face is red. You've made an enemy out of him for this particular segment. All right, Cameron, continue.
Uncharted.
Going down, Matthew.
That's my vote.
Cameron went with Uncharted. There we go. Go ahead, Matthew.
Animal Crossing is another series that I have a lot of really storied history with, similar to Zelda. Because I have probably more hours in Animal Crossing than I have in any other gaming franchise of all time. Because I still remember as a kid going upstairs and turning on my GameCube with the Animal Crossing branded GameCube memory card, because it took an entire memory card to store the data for the game, and just running around my little Animal Crossing town. Samson the Rat was like my best friend in game kind of thing, because you have little it's Animal Crossing is a sim type game where your character you buy a little house and you slowly upgrade that house while paying back your debt and making friends with all the little animal creatures around the town. And the game series has evolved a lot to where it is today, and I absolutely love just complete freedom of exploration and loving all the interactions that you can have and the little tidbits and the little stories and friendships you build in your mind and nowhere else that mean so unnecessarily much for no reason. It's a series that means a lot to me, and always has, and I will always go back and play it when there's nothing else I can think of that I want to play.
All right, that is awesome, and I knew that's what you would do. Before we get to how Tim voted and how I'm going to vote, let me jump on the stream really quick. And Viper Dave says he would play vanilla, talking about Skyrim. Chris says Skyrim is number one. Viper says the only mod I have are Inigo, Follower, and Location of the Stones, but can easily play vanilla. By the way, I've got the Location of Stones. I've never went all the way through that. I have no idea how that ends. It starts with a B, stones. You know, you find that little thing.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would know the name of it, but I can't.
I don't know the name, but yeah.
And Chris also asked if there's a multiplayer mod for Skyrim. They just came out with that. I haven't tried it yet.
There was one that came out like early last year that was really unstable, but there's a much more stable one that came out a few months ago, like back in like October, November, I think.
Is it only for PC or is it?
Oh, I only know of it being.
Yeah,
for
I think it's only for PC.
Yeah.
All right.
You have to do some port forwarding stuff for it.
All right. So back to the bracket at hand. I will tell you, I hadn't played any of the Uncharted games until we got a new employee on the fan Upstate. He was struggling with a game. I was trying to befriend that person. I've since decided to not do that anymore. But at the time, just for camaraderie and trying to, to have like things going on. So to better mesh chemistry wise, I got the Uncharted game that he was struggling on. The thing is, it was and before that, no, I had played a little bit of Uncharted 1 because PlayStation had one of those packages where for like $10 you get the first 3. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy all these. I still haven't played them all yet. So I got Uncharted 4. I believe it's 4. That was the last one, right?
Yes.
So I got that, and it took me a while to get to the part that he couldn't get past. And he didn't want to look up how to get past. And even if he did, it wouldn't have helped him. So I got to it, surpassed him, then beat the game twice before I'm not even sure he ever beat it. But I fell in love with the game. It's beautiful. You go to a bunch of really cool locales, exotic locales. You get to, be in the jungle, get to be in the desert. There's a lot of puzzle solving, which I do enjoy. There's also guns and platforming. There's just so many things about Uncharted. The movie wasn't bad either. I don't think it got great reviews, but who cares? The movie, because it's a Spider-Man. You can't help it. He's been typecast, but but Marky Mark was really good in that movie. So I will tell you that Tim Snow also is a big Uncharted fan. I hate to do. I mean, Matthew, you had a victory last time. It's not going to happen. This one might hurt you more, but Tim has went with Uncharted, and I'm also going with Uncharted. I haven't played Animal Crossing. I know my daughter's played it. You talked about during the pandemic, it had record amount of people playing.
Oh yeah, because
people couldn't.
Animal Crossing came out around that time, and it just kind of perfect timing for that.
And there were actually people out there who had never played a game before, buying Switches so they could play Animal Crossing.
It was the best entry in the series. Well, it was a little lacking at the beginning, but with all the free updates and everything, and now the DLC as well, it's easily the best.
And a lot of people bought Elijah Wood's turnips.
Yep.
All right, so here's the thing. This is how this works. You get your highs, you get your lows, but you know what you get when we finally get to the second round? You get Zelda versus Uncharted, so you could get your revenge, or maybe suffer another heartbreak. That's how this thing works. Again, I can usually pick kind of how I think it's going to go. I have no idea who's winning this whole thing. I really don't. Something like Tekken could win the whole thing. Something like Destiny can win the whole thing. I do not know. Our villains bracket, I had it narrowed down to a couple, and one of the two that I thought would win won. Almost every year, one of the two that I think is going to win wins. This year, I don't know. This is the hardest bracket we've ever done. I don't have a clue, but I do know that I'm having fun, and we're going to continue talking about it later. I'm going to have to noob myself again. Gosh, it's the third time. Are we going to take a final break? You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
Were you already going to say Uncharted?
I was on the fence. I went with mid.
Yeah.
Hey, don't let me influence you, because if you do that, then it's thinking it's something, and it's not. Your face was red, by the way. Your face really was red. You go back and look. Your face was red.
But it was more frustration with the both of you instead of just primarily on one or the other.
Ow. Legitimately, ow.
Retribution.
The desk avenged Animal Crossing.
Sorry, I'm not talking. I'm mathing.
Oh yeah, no, that is on an expectation.
Yes, prepare to be disappointed. Texter says, Super Nerd told Cam to shut up. What Cam gonna do? We're all super nerds here.
Channel his father is what I did.
It's a game, man. It really is. It's a game about games. And we're playing a
It's
game.
game squared.
It's I hate that 3D chess. It's 4D chess. Or is there such thing as 4D chess? I don't know. It's 6D chess.
It's 5D chess with hungry hippos
Ooh.
mixed in.
Matthew, have you ever played Hungry Hippos?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, there's a chance that maybe you didn't play it. Not everyone plays it. I didn't play it as a kid. Because we couldn't afford it. But there was like somebody in the neighborhood had one that they got at a yard sale, but there's only like 3 balls.
Also,
So,
my niece
pretty easy to win.
fantastic at hungry hippos.
Yes, she is. She's good at all games.
It's weird.
It's not weird.
Well,
It's hereditary. Come on.
Also, I found out why she's good at Candyland.
She cheats.
Yes. And I'm weirdly proud of her for it.
No, you shouldn't be. You need to call her out on it.
Oh, I did.
What she's doing.
Oh, I did, absolutely. That's why I won.
The first time she ever played, she played me, and she legitimately beat me. So, I mean.
Yeah. The other thing with that, it's chance. But it's more along the lines of just like, oh, you were so good at this. This is going to be a problem later on.
All right. Trey says, I bought a collector's edition of Uncharted. It came with a bunch of cool stuff like a belt buckle and a replica of the necklace that Nathan Drake wears. That's cool. It's also cool in the movie when they walk up on the beach. There's a guy on the beach they talk to who's actually the voice of Nathan Drake. Trust me, my heart has been broken during this time, and it will be. There's a couple games when they go down. I'm not going to be happy about it, especially if they lose to an inferior game. That's what bothers you because you believe it's an inferior game that just took down your favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's the reason why games do so well right now because there's so many different kind of games for different people.
For sure.
Lightning can only strike twice so many times.
I didn't want to put that in between advertisers because I didn't want it to be negative towards it.
So noobs are not like lightning strikes. They
No.
can strike 3 times.
Yes, they can. Thank you for pointing that out. Man, do I appreciate you right now. Gotta say.
Everybody gets their comeuppance. Everybody gets their comeuppance.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. Look at that pro. You see him back away from the microphone when he yelled like that, Matthew?
Oh, yeah.
I wish there were some other people in the building who
I
could
thought
do
of
that.
Patrick Brown when I did that.
Yeah, that's a good move. You learned from one of the best. You did. All right. Couple things to get to as we round out the show. Dragon Ball remake. Cameron, should there be a Dragon Ball remake?
Of like the OG like anime or what are we talking?
Yes, we're talking about the anime. Where's my story here?
I
can't say his name. Go ahead, Matthew.
I don't have the name in front of me.
Akira Toriyama.
No. Shikashi Kubota revealed he's interested in working on a Dragon Ball remake if Toei Animation ever decides to do one. He mentioned the same to SH producer Norahiro
Hayashi, probably.
No, it's Ishida in there. Hayashida
Yeah.
as well. So
But if you don't know the name of the first guy, he's actually the animation director and key animator on a lot of sections of Dragon Ball Super, Broly, and Superhero. He also has a ton of major animation credits on several other things. He did the opening for the OG Full Metal Alchemist. He was. I'm trying to remember the other another big one, but he's a huge animation. He is a huge animation.
All right, so
name.
I gotta say I don't have a problem with it because a lot of people, their first look at Dragon Ball was Dragon Ball Z and Toonami. I mean, that's where we first saw it, and went back later and watched the Dragon Ball series. And the only way I could watch it was to buy DVDs of it, and that's how I saw it. Now you can see it on like Funimation. The original is a little bit.
It's a lot more raunchy than you
yeah,
expect.
especially the
OG Dragon
yeah
Ball.
the uncut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they put it in the not for business section
It
because
started out as a comedy before
Yes.
becoming an actual martial arts series.
it did. So I don't have a problem with the remaking Dragon Ball
If it doesn't, I want
because
them to,
imagine those graphics and the King Piccolo arc.
oh, I would
yeah.
actually.
I
You know
would
what?
absolutely
You've
love to
sold me
see a
on that.
full reanimation, taking out some of the filler and bringing up to modern animation standards for OG Dragon Ball and Z. I'd love to see the whole thing go
What
through.
kind
That'd
of
be
get like
awesome.
a Kai sort of?
Kai is more of a recut rather than a remake, though.
Okay.
As long as it wouldn't have to be abridged because the original is pretty. It's pretty raunchy.
Yeah, no, just the original manga and redoing it up to modern standards. I'd love to see that.
All right, I need to get to this one story because chances are people may know who this person is. Maybe not. Oh, where is it? All right, so something happened at a restaurant, and so a dude went to work drunk, and he threw grease on his fellow
I reported
coworkers.
on this earlier this week.
Yeah. It happened in Walhalla. So
Yep.
our first thought was it Lawrence? Where was it?
Mhm.
Was it no, it happened in Walhalla out of Zaxby. So dude went to work drunk and decided to throw grease on his fellow coworkers because he was mad at them. And his excuse was he didn't know the grease was hot.
Yep.
Straight to jail.
And 2 other people came forward saying that he strangled them and punched one of them, I think. Too.
Wow. And
Boy, that's some addition to the story.
so
Yeah.
so the service
I didn't know the grease was hot. Well, then why did you strangle and punch another person? I
So-
didn't know they were there.
yeah. Well, I was
I thought I was wrestling with
I was
like a
wrestling
bag
my,
of frozen chicken.
my drunk demons.
I would go with possession. That should work. So and the tagline on the service that we use to get some of these stories said, "Have you ever had problems with a coworker?" Yeah, but not like
Yes, but
that.
not to that degree.
Not like that. I've never had hot grease thrown on me. All right, a high school in, let's see, where's this high school at? I believe it's in Louisiana. Had to close down because Arkansas. Never mind. This makes more sense. In Arkansas because it was full of bats.
I was gonna guess boars.
Yeah, full of bats. So they had to close it down because the high school was full of bats. And the thing is, you know what? Back in my day, and I'm going to do back in my day, there was a bat in the corner above mine and Bill's lockers, which were right next to us. We went and told the assistant principal. He came out, got a broom, and smashed the bat and killed it up in the corner, picked the bat up, threw it in the trash. The blood stain was on there the entire time we were at that middle school. They never closed anything down. And you know what? We're still okay.
That guy's a baller.
What's a bat? You know, I can't remember his name, but he wore a gold jacket all the time. It was weird.
Okay, he's definitely a
Yeah,
baller.
he was a white-haired old man, and
I ain't got time for
Yeah.
this.
it was, dude, it was so.
Did he talk about riddles a whole bunch?
No, but he did have that. He did have that kind of smile from the old man from Poltergeist 2. Let me in. That guy.
Oh,
He kind of reminded you of that guy, so it creeped us out.
that's a different thing.
Yeah, because it was right around the time when, and they just come out. I was like, killed that bat. Like, oh, okay, that bat is dead. All right, last thing, really quick. An Ohio pizzeria has put a job listing out asking for non-stupid people to apply. So
Very
far,
specific.
no takers. No takers. No one. No. So apparently there are no non-stupid people in Columbus. And I know a bunch of people in Columbus. That's where I'm from. I know there's some non-stupid people there. They just have jobs, real jobs, and not. I mean, I guess they just don't want to make pizza. All right. Thanks to everybody who participated. Thank you for everyone on the stream and everyone on the text line. And we'll be back next week, and we will continue with our brackets. And have a great weekend, everybody. And we will talk to you next week.
And Viper, when it's a remake, that doesn't mean like a completely new thing. It's like a reanimation thing, not like the kind of Disney remake kind of thing. Not that kind of thing. Like an actual.
Yeah, because the Japanese don't really typically do that.
No, this would what what he was saying in the interview, because this was at a convention that he mentioned this. He was talking about how he would absolutely love to basically bring it up to bring the animation and stuff like that up to modern standards and remove some of the filler and things like that. Yeah,
Which would be a good way to bring in new audiences and
absolutely.
all that.
Alan says, I live in LA. I resemble that remark. Okay. I'm not going to give out the Ohio Pizzeria's name, Alan, because I already threw it away and I'm not digging through the trash. It was nasty. I ain't getting in there.
It's now in the pit.
It is. Say goodbye, Matthew.
Goodbye, Matthew.
Say goodbye, Cameron.
Goodbye.
And I will say goodbye to Lonzo. And goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you. It's a horrible rendition of the
Yellow
song.
Brick Road.
Totally different song.
Wait, what?